guys, welcome back to another episode of Storytellers. I'm really excited to have somebody here that I have interviewed before. I am just honored to have her here in my apartment.
It's so cute. Loving it.
Arden, Myrin.
Hi,
Hello. You guys might remember her from Insatiable,
Yep.
Of course. And then also you host Will You Accept This Rose, iHeartMedia's
Yes.
podcast, Bachelor podcast. So I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and to talk all about your upcoming new movie, Step Aside.
It's really fun.
It's freaking hilarious.
It's fun. It's bananas.
Oh my gosh, December 4th, Amazon.
Yep.
Just so I don't forget to say that.
Yep.
But we're going to talk all about it. I want to talk about the movie first because you are the embodiment of like Big Red, Abby Lee Miller, scary dance moms, pageant mom, scary.
When I read the script, I was like, oh my God, I have to do this. To be able to be Abby Lee Miller, pageant mom, nightmare. It's fun to play a fun kind of bad guy who I like people that are blind to their own flaws and truly believe that they are doing, that they mean well. And so I play a gal named Susie Sadler-Sack who runs a dance troupe, a dance company.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of like Bring It On meets like Best in Show.
Mm-hmm. It is so fun. And you're frightening.
Yeah.
It is. What's your workout routine? Your abs are
oh my God, thank you.
In
oh my
movie.
God. Okay, I will tell you because I actually come, look, free to be you and me, whatever your body. I come from a family of ladies that have bellies, and like we're girly. So during the pandemic, I started doing. There's a guy named Isaac Boots.
I love Isaac,
and it's free, and it's on Instagram.
Yes.
And I just started doing Isaac Boots because I was like, well, okay, I don't want to like come out of the pandemic and not be able to fit in my pants. And it was like, we were all kind of depressed.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I just started doing Isaac Boots every day. It's like 30 minutes and it's free.
Yeah.
And I can do it and I do the same day. I think it's July 7th, 2021. He's in the Hamptons visiting us. I can do the whole thing by heart. There's a certain day that I like, but I literally do Isaac Boots pretty much every day. And then like in New York, I'll walk around. In LA, I'll play tennis like at a rec center.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's really Isaac Boots.
Isaac Boots. I did an Instagram live with Isaac Boots over the pandemic where he taught me a class and it was just he and I and people watched it, like Lisa Rinna watching, like, love you, Isaac. I was like, please don't watch me work out. I'm sweating profusely.
I am not
shaking.
I'm not somebody that wants people to watch me work out.
No.
But I will say, shout out Isaac Boots. I'd never had abs, and I've spent a lot of money on gym classes over the years. I've done everything, and it's this free Instagram Isaac Boots. I try to just do it. Like, it's 30 minutes. It's in my, and I've never been like a video at home gal, but I'll but now I know it well enough that I'll put on a podcast and I'll kind of half listen to him, half listen to the podcast. And I just sort of try to do it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's
for my mental health.
It's hard to do the things at home.
Oh my God.
It got very hard for me. I used to be really good at it. And then once I think the pandemic continued, I kind of was like, I'd rather sit on my couch.
No, I'll do ClassPass stuff now. Yeah. But I sort of fill in with the Isaac Boots. But at that moment in time when we filmed it, that was all Isaac Boots.
Oh my gosh. So you are in these little outfits, wild outfits every day.
When we did a fitting, because they gave me the role 5 days before we started. And it's a lot of me talking. It's a lot of, and then there's 40 outfit changes. And so
lots of hair.
And so usually when you do costume changes or wardrobe fittings, they'll bring you options and they'll be like, okay, we have 20 things we could. It was literally this is there was no options. It was this is the outfit for this day. And it was, I thought it was just gonna be a leotard and a ballet class. You know what I mean? And they showed up and it was probably inappropriate to be working with children, but the outfits are, it's like sexy mermaid on land. It's insane.
And I love how it's filmed in that Abbott Elementary, The Office style.
Yes.
Documentary style.
Yes.
Comedy.
Yeah. So it's basically I run a dance company, and I'm sort of such a garbage person that I got us disqualified from a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's all these amazing real dancers that are.
I was going to say the dancers
are
insane.
They're all a huge TikTok star. I mean, they're like giant. One of them was like on the Super Bowl. Like they're like backing up like Rihanna or Lil Nas. Like they're awesome dancers. So like I love dance-off movies. This was like, I felt like I won a contest. I've gotten my company disqualified, and we have to sort of get our way back into the competition. I have a beef with this person that's like my main nemesis from high school. I mean, honestly, it was so fun. It was a female director, female producers, all the dance. It was just like, we filmed it in like 18 days. Just like all these, like Lady Power got it done, a female DP, like just a lot of the heads of the departments were women. Like we got it done.
And it seemed like you really had fun in this character. Like it was the perfect role for you.
It was, I was just trying to channel like a Coolidge, you know what I mean?
Totally.
I wanted like a Coolidge, like a Kristen Wiig. I wanted just like, I feel like with a character like this, if you're the kid at the roller rink and you're clinging to the side and you're like, you got to just start skating. It's going to look weirder if you're afraid to go for it. So I just was like, I'll just trust that if it's too much, they'll pull me back. And like, I'm just going to go. And I feel like as long as I'm coming from a place of truth and woundedness, because this person ultimately learns a lesson. And like, there is heart. She's a hurt people, you guys. So she was a little damaged. But like, you know, see, it's like, as long as I bring empathy to the character, I can just like go for it.
Yeah. It reminds me of like Mary Catherine Gallagher. Like you dip your toe or you jump it. Some people dip. You got to just full Mary Catherine Gallagher. I mean, like, totally. You got to just go. It's not going to work if you're self-conscious.
Exactly. Even in the outfits, like was never like a bikini gal. You got to. I begged them to put me in a heel. I'm like, if you're going to put me in like basically no clothing,
you got to elongate.
You got to elongate the leg. Yeah. You got to like you got to help an adult lady out.
Totally.
Yeah, and just like put on some spray tan and just act like you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Now, did any of the dancers say that you reminded them of any of their features that they had?
I think it was literally inspired by the girl that plays London.
Yeah,
her mom came up with this whole idea because like there were women that like remind. It's so like apparently, and again, I wish I grew up in a world that had like dance studio. Like, did you grow up dancing?
I did. I went to 2 different dance studios when I was growing up.
So any of this strike you as?
So not like my first dance studio. Actually, Miss Kelly reached out to me on TikTok the other day.
Shout out Miss Kelly.
Love watching you. Like, oh my gosh, always knew you were going to be a star. When I danced with her until I was in like 4th grade.
Was it so fun?
So fun. It was so fun.
I wish. Did you do like hip hop?
I moved to a different dance studio that was like a competitive dance studio.
I wish.
And so that was where you saw like the crazies. And I did competitive cheer, and they were really crazy.
So I watched a bunch of cheer stuff too, getting ready for this.
Yeah.
I watched a bunch of cheer. I watched a bunch of Abby Lee Miller. But question.
Okay.
Because again, I didn't grow up. I was in such a rural town. We didn't have.
Yeah.
I wish. So even with it being competitive and bananas, was it fun?
Yes.
It's okay if it wasn't.
No, it was a lot of fun. So my parents are coaches. My parents are lacrosse coaches.
Hey.
So I had a very different perspective than say like other friends. If you were to ask them, like they would have like their parents involved if they didn't make the varsity team or something. They would like call and like
no.
Or I would have to like my parents would be like, go meet with your coach, find out why you didn't make it, and then try better next year.
But I feel like I'm like full team your parents.
Totally team my parents.
Because life doesn't work that way. That's like at a certain point you get out of the house and like you can't send your parents to go advocate for you.
You looked at cheer videos and then you looked at, did you watch Dance Moms? Like watch
I watched Dance Moms and then I watched Cheer. I watched that show Cheer.
I love Cheer. Monica's cool.
Monica was cool. Because it's a feature-length movie, you have to like end something it has to be grounded in some kind of humanity. So I was trying to watch to like get to see both sides of like somebody who just like, this is what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And they really, like, that it's coming from a place of, like, I really want them to win. And then you can kind of, I feel like as long as it's from
add to the character,
you can kind of go from there and, like, pick your moments of, like, because there was a lot of, like, capital letters and exclamation points. So you're just, like, particularly with I know the tone of my voice is specific. So it's, like, also figuring out how to, like, so if it had, like, yelling, oftentimes I will whisper yell, like, just, again, just knowing the tone of my, like, figuring out when you have something that's so large, figuring out how people will not check out.
Right. Your own dancing in it. You dance.
When I heard I was going to have a number.
Yeah.
Now, I felt like I won a contest. No, I'm flattered that they thought I wouldn't need much rehearsal. They rehearsed with all the dancers who clearly need no rehearsal, but they, like, were there all day, and they're like, oh, you'll just pop in. And I'm like, I've never taken a dance class in my life. And then we learned it, and, like, there wasn't much time.
Right. I was about to say 18 days is not very long.
No, so I think I learned the dance in, like, an hour or two. And then I just literally practiced it in my kitchen, like, with my cats. Like, I had a video of it, but, like, I didn't have like much rehearsal. It was like an hour of me, and then I filmed the choreographer, but, like, I had to film her doing it, and then I just practiced it in my kitchen because I'd never taken a dance class, and we didn't have any rehearsal. So, but it was so exciting to get to do 2 routines. I had the apology song, and then I got to have a dance off.
Yep.
And I did the worm.
Love.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Looking at your career, you started in comedy.
Yeah.
And I just saw that you went out on your first stand-up tour.
Yes.
Your first stand-up show post-COVID.
Yes.
What was that like to get back out there?
It was interesting. Like, it was really fun. It was the first time I'd not done clubs. Like, so I felt like as a gal, and again, this is just, like, I found that, like, with COVID, like, the pandemic, we all changed a little bit, you know what I mean? And, like, I was like, is there a world that I could go tour and like, I'm not to say I wouldn't do it again. Like, I'm proud of the time that I used to tour, like doing 6 shows in a weekend and doing, like, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. But, like, there's sometimes doing, like, the super late show on, like, Fridays where people are really drunk. Like, I just didn't quite have it in me. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad. I just didn't have it in me to deal with, like, wrangling really hammered dudes, like at, like, midnight. And you shouldn't have to.
I
didn't feel like it.
Right.
And so I was like, is there a world where, because I love performing live, I love doing, like, but I was like, is there a world where I could try to do one-offs? Like, how do people do that? So I did a bunch of city wineries. I did and then I did a theater in Bethesda, and it was so fun. It was fun to, like, I was nervous because I hadn't done it since before the pandemic, and it was, like, you know, sort of a lot of new material, and, like, it was really fun. Like, you forget how fun it is to go do live things. And then I've been doing a monthly live show at Union Hall in Brooklyn with my friend Brian Saw.
Yeah.
I'm doing one, and we're doing our first LA show at the Elysian Theater, December 6th.
Amazing.
We're doing it with Chris Fleming, who just had a stand-up special on Peacock, and Meatball, who's an amazing drag queen. So it was really fun. But I'm aware that, like, stand-up changed during the pandemic it's now a lot about, like, TikTok and Reels. Like, it's just interesting. I'm like, that didn't really exist prior to the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, like, the game of stand-up has gotten a lot more pop, but, like, the amount, like the posting of the Reels and the TikTok, like, that's really, stand-up has really taken off with that. And, like, I was aware, like, oh, that's been, like, that didn't really exist before.
Right. Well, because I feel like, too, you guys wanted to keep your jokes.
That's why, if you notice, a lot of people do crowd work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of crowd work.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to burn their material.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, like, that's what I've noticed. It's been very interesting to me. And another thing, too, is, like, why I think it's good that you are doing kind of your one night only thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you get everyone there. They kind of, you leave them wanting more. You come back a few months later.
Yeah.
But then again, you're not going to then go post all your stuff on Reels because then people aren't going to buy tickets. That's surprising to me.
Yeah. If you pay it, there's a lot of it's a lot of crowd work. So it's interesting. It's also just interesting looking at the reality of like the business model of whatever thing I was like, okay, the reality is now you have to post, you have to film, you have to post like crowd works. Like the game has changed, and that's what I was aware. It was sort of a learning curve of like, okay, that's where people find out about comedy now. It's like podcasts and it's very much podcasts and TikTok and Reels. Whereas before it might have been like late night sets or Comedy Central.
Right.
Like, some people have specials, but like it's interesting to see that was sort of that was like, okay, I'm aware that that's what's different.
Right. And that has been a big change. I feel like we've seen comedy change so much over the years.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about marriage a little bit before. Yeah. We were talking about your love for reality TV.
Yes.
Before this. I know that you just started watching Summer House.
Oh my God.
And I want your thoughts. I know you're Team Lindsay.
Yeah.
I want your thoughts on like what, just from her interview, and things that you've heard and read, like what are your thoughts on what's happening?
Okay, I didn't watch any of her interviews, so full disclosure. Right. So as a person, look, I only knew sober Carl. I didn't see early days Lindsay. I watched one summer of pre-Carl Lindsay, and then I watched them together for one summer. And then I watched them on Winter House. To me, and again, I do not know other versions of that.
Right.
I feel like they seemed really happy, and I understand that people have many colors, and like I love Paige.
Yeah.
But like and I don't know what the dynamic was like with all the other gals. I love Amanda and Kymanda. I feel like I just understanding where Lindsay came from and her mom and all that stuff, and like Carl's background to me, and again, I know nothing, and I've never met these people. I felt they seemed happy. She seemed like maybe she picked guys that weren't quite good enough for her, and like he seemed happy with her. Now, so I felt I've always been rooting for them because they seemed like they were friends. They felt like they enjoyed each other. I felt like maybe they'd seen sides of it. They seemed like they had a nice, intimate relationship.
Yeah.
And I feel for both of them. Clear, like nobody wants to. I don't, as an outsider, and again, I don't know any of these people, like, I feel badly how it sounds like it went down. The fact that potentially a camera was called. I wouldn't wish, having gone through a breakup myself, like I wouldn't have wanted cameras on me.
Yeah.
I had the privacy of the pandemic and like time to kind of gather myself before I went back out in the world. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And yeah, just the manner, like you're allowed to call off an engagement. Like you don't have to get married. You're allowed to get divorced. Like you're allowed to break up with somebody. But to me, because they seemed like friends, it felt confusing. It didn't feel like the Carl I knew.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like the Carl I'd really grown to like love and root for.
Yeah.
I didn't like because he seemed like he really cared for her. It felt, again, as what it sounds like it went down as, I felt badly that I felt like she sounded like she got a little ambushed. And like aside from her heart probably being shocked and broken, that to do it with no privacy felt unkind to me.
Definitely. Yeah. I think exactly what you said too about the friendship aspect. Like they were friends for 8 years.
Yeah.
Best friends.
That's nice.
And so that's, I think, like where the heartbreak even more, it's like you're losing, like it's so heartbreaking to think your future is looking one way and for it to completely go up in smoke. But it's like another thing for it to be from like one of your best friends who you like rely on and you talk to and have given so much to as a friend and a partner.
It like, look, having been getting divorced sucks, even if it's amicable. It fucking sucks. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So like, better to not get married if you truly think this isn't right. And it's not a comfortable thing to do, and I'm sure it took some bravery, but there's a manner in how you tell your truth to somebody
Yeah.
Now you went on the girls' trip.
I went on the girls' trip.
The neon bikini. So did people get to pick their neon? Was it handed to you?
No. So my friend Emily and I put together all the bags.
Incredible.
We were in charge of the batch bags that turned into a girls' trip. And so Emily got the bikinis. They were all from Vecchi.
Okay.
And we only just got to really choose if we wanted a one piece or a bikini. And so
what did you get?
I had the bikini. Well, I had to get you a new bikini, but I got you a bag.
Can I just say,
Activated AF.
I cannot tell you how much I love this. And I almost bought some of the Activated AF merch online just because I get activated.
Wait, hold on. I didn't get right up one more thing.
I wanted this. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
There you go.
I'm going to wear this to tennis every day. When I go back to LA. I'm going to wear this every day.
Oh my gosh.
I get activated.
Who doesn't?
I get activated. Yeah. My boyfriend.
I want your Lexapro.
I talk about my nervous system, and my boyfriend calls it my nervous system. And he's like, is your nervous system activated? He's just like, because I get my nervous system gets activated.
Yeah.
He's like, do you have to soothe your nervous system? He's an idiot.
How do you unactivate yourself? Do you have a process?
I have to just sort of, first of all, acknowledge, like, sometimes I'll call somebody, just call to a pal.
Mm-hmm.
That's an outside source that doesn't care what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I just need to, kind of, acknowledge if I'm, on the moon, even if it's, a phone, even if it's a message. And I'm like, hey, I just need to acknowledge I'm, on Neptune. And so, just, I'm not going to, I really try to, restraint of pen and tongue. I don't, if I need to say something about this to whoever tomorrow, I can say this, whether it's a work, a friend thing, any kind of a thing.
Right.
So I try to, at least sometimes I'll journal. I find physical activity key. I literally sometimes even clean out your freaking sock drawer. Do you know?
Doing something.
Something to a bubble bath, physically get in water. It's really a phone call. It's just getting somebody on the phone. I mean, so and so did this. It's bananas. I have to work with them in an hour. Okay, I'm allowed to bring it up in 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to bring it up when nobody can hear me when I'm bananas. Sometimes it's if it's hysterical, it's historical. So it's is there something that this reminds me of? Is this a ghost of the past, or what part is actually?
Oh, I thought you were gonna be if it's hysterical, it's historical. If I act on this, it will go down in history as a big freak out, and I will be on TMZ.
I mean, honestly, that's also true. So it's funny if I act out, it will, and also if I'm crazy about it, it might remind me of somebody that did something in the past. It's
true.
What's actually in front of me and what is reminding me of somebody else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's what I try to do.
Okay.
What do you do?
So I definitely, I have a temper. Like I said, my parents are coaches, and they have sideline tempers, and I have the redhead, I see red.
Okay.
I will see red. I used to, high school Allie would fire off texts. I would react, and I would say mean things, and I would react, defense. I would kind of do what Lindsay does sometimes in the house. And now I got in a bad habit actually of just full repressing, being I will take this on. I will swallow this. I will blame myself.
Sure.
And so I got in that bad habit, I would say. And so then I became not non-confrontational, but confrontation isn't a good term, but I would just not stand up for myself.
I understand that.
And then I didn't realize or know how to communicate how I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a lot better at giving 2 days, figuring out if it's worth it or not.
That's right.
And then, but I will definitely shoot off a voice memo to a girlfriend or something. Just be this just pissed me off that somebody did, and I gotta say it. And she'll listen to the voice memo a few hours later, and I'll usually be chill by then. And then you know,
I need to be able to be ratchety and tell somebody else, but not the source. And then
tell the source.
How do you deal in conflict in your relationship? Have you been temporary?
I can definitely get temporary.
How does he handle it?
He is very level-headed and very soothing, but like certain things will definitely piss him off, and I definitely had to teach him how to communicate, like when he's upset about something, instead of holding it in and then letting it like, you know, bottle over a few weeks later with like a buildup of things. But he never really bottles over. He's always just like, can you clean up the bathroom?
Right.
Can you put your hair shit away?
Yes.
And like, don't call it shit, you know, whatever. Then I get defensive.
Yeah.
But like, he and I will like talk, and like he'll give his points. His dad's a lawyer, so he has like points, and he'll come prepared.
No, my boyfriend will win a discussion.
Yes, but I'll still try like my like maneuvers here and there. But usually, like at the end of it, I'll just be like, "You're mad at me, and it's making me sad." Yeah, and then we're fine.
That's good. That's good.
But then I'm like, I actually was thinking about it last night. I was like, do we ever actually like resolve anything?
Nobody does. Nobody does.
Is that okay?
I don't know that it's good, but no. I would say, look, I appreciate that. I feel like my guy does alter, like when we have disagreements, I wouldn't say it gets resolved verbally, but the behavior gets resolved. So this is so fun. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy. You're such a star. Thanks for having me on. You're doing great. You should be doing this. This is so great. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
It's my pleasure. Step Aside, December 4th on Amazon.
Amazing. Well, Arden, please come back.
Thanks for having me on, Allie. Thank you. Bye.